All right. Hello. Good morning and welcome everybody to another Saturday morning episode of Urfspace Live, the drawing show, where me, your host, Chuck Whelan, draws pictures, along with my co-host, Mr. Dale Sipperley. Where's Mr. Dale Sipperley? Let's pop him up here. Here he is. We don't have
Morning, kids.
He's there. He's like we need an actual announcer. I think that's something that shows have, don't they? Have a completely separate person, either a voiceover person or Martin Sheen, and they come on and say, hello and welcome to the Urfspace show with your host Chuck Whelan and Mr. Dale Sipperley. They will say their own name, I'm Martin Sheen or whoever it is.
Okay, Why are you hung up on Martin Sheen this morning?
I don't know, because he seems quite popular for voiceover. He always comes up at the end of Survivor and says, the next week's episode of Survivor.
He's doing voiceover work? Wow.
Yeah, he always all through Survivor. I think because when Survivor was first on, he was in that show, The West Wing, and he was sort of riding high in The West Wing, and so he would do it then. But I think they get him to do it again every week. I think he gets paid every week to go next week on Survivor.
Wow.
Or they have a whole bunch of them. I'm sure he gets paid. I mean, he's Martin Sheen, right?
Yeah, he probably gets a caller.
Yeah, okay. But from where, a lot of people still look at Survivor.
I didn't even know the show was still on. I mean,
I like Survivor. I like Survivor. Tina loves Survivor. She mostly likes that they're on a desert island. And I think the clever thing about Survivor, and I think Mark Burnett's a bit of a genius. I'd love to see a documentary about the making of Survivor. But, I mean, he sort of is the exact opposite of what you should do if you're marooned on a desert island. You've got to try and eliminate one person each week. You need to cooperate. I mean, but it's interesting. So there's this sort of element of cooperation, but they have to undermine it. And at first, they realized that it sort of made everyone too nasty. So then they introduced this thing where there's a sort of jury so the last half of the people that get knocked out go into the jury. Okay. And they get to make the final decision on who wins. So you have to win, but you can't be too nasty. Everybody can't hate you, but you can be a player. It's a very weird ethics that Survivor introduces. And I like Mark Burnett's other great show was The Apprentice, which that show's got a lot to be responsible for, and he doesn't talk about it now. But I like The Apprentice. I mean, Tina also likes it a lot. And what I liked about it is it was set a business task. It was actually a real business task. You had to make an advertising jingle, for example, and they'd have to sort of run around and make an advertising jingle. And if somebody would say, "Oh, I know all about making an advertising jingle," they would invariably fail at the task. And the person who said, "Oh, I don't know anything about making advertising jingles, but I saw, but it's my turn to be the leader or whatever," and then they would listen to everyone around them, and they would generally win. And but Trump's decisions would be a bit insane. I mean, I've heard that they had to really edit around that to make any sense. And I do feel like a lot of what he does is just sort of, certainly his first serve was just sort of carrying on The Apprentice. Okay. You get a bunch of people in, fire them all one by one, and get everybody in a state. Just generally go around acting pompous. This time, well, we won't get into it. He seems to have
too late.
Seems to have a plan this time, which is
too late. Too late. Yes, let's not get into it. Too late.
We won't get into it. What about Zardoz now? Yes, no, we were talking about Zardoz, and I noticed that you'd been posting spoilers about Zardoz.
There are no spoilers. Okay, you can't have spoilers for a movie from 1974. How many years?
Well, you said that. Yes, I knew you'd say that. Then
50 years.
Aren't you ignoring the fact that nobody's, even though it's 40 years old, nobody's seen this movie?
50.
50?
Okay. My job isn't, I don't care about spoiling anymore. My job is to get people to watch Roundup. See, I give these out. I print them out on my own dime and give out Zardoz finger puppets to people.
Yeah, if you'd like his Zardoz finger puppet, we'll have a competition.
Tina's
What do they
here
have to do?
saying,
They have to answer a
please
question.
let's not talk about that turd. I don't know if she's referring to Trump or to Zardoz. I assume she's referring
Yes.
not to Zardoz.
No, not to Zardoz. The alternative. Well, actually, aren't they somewhat similar?
I'm not even going there.
I mean, Zardoz is like this sort of big angry head that's telling you what to do all the time and spitting out guns at you.
Yeah, but that's not the message of the movie. The message of the movie is...
Well, the message of the movie is that wasn't a good thing.
Okay, the message of Zardoz is we live in a simulation and there are ways to escape it. No one ever believes that. They get hung up on the red diaper. In fact,
our producer just showed up.
The red diaper is on the back of the DVD.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
now
they don't even show the diaper.
They were really making an effort. Like maybe people would see the movie if they didn't see the diaper.
Yeah,
they thought, we've got all the diaper viewers. Maybe we could get some actual serious viewers. But also, okay. Now look, I noticed you've got your stack of Zardoz DVDs there. They're
okay. Are we going to talk about Marie Kondo now?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of Marie Kondo. And she says that they're stagnant. The energy of that Zardoz is like dying in a stagnant pool. It's sort of rotting and dying in a stack. You need to put them upright, then they're activated. All right, now the energy of Zardoz is sort of flowing out around the world as it's supposed to. So don't you want that to happen?
No. I want an easily grabbable DVD of Zardoz that I can then go put in the trunk of my car to have when I go visit people. And when I find, oh, you haven't seen Zardoz, let me go run and get you a copy. The only problem is a lot of the hipsters I know now don't even have DVD players.
Well, I can see you're a Marie Kondo skeptic, but
I've read her book.
The point is, look, you admit yourself, you didn't get those copies of Zardoz to hoard them. You got them to go out in the world. Like if they're upright, they will go out in the world more. You'll just pop one out of the shelf. Okay. Like this way, there's just the sort of dusty one on the top or whatever, and it's sort of protecting them, and they're sort of laying there, and you could put something on top. You could put a head on top of that, and
obviously you've never worked in a warehouse. You maximize your space, and you make things easy to grab. It is much easier for me to grab the top off a stack of Zardozes than to tilt them and have them stand on end.
Dare, you're not a forklift truck. You're a human being.
No, but I ran warehouses.
Yeah, but warehouses are sort of mechanical things run by forklift. Guess what? They don't even need human beings in them anymore. They just automate and do it all themselves.
Yes, and that's where we're going. The thing people don't realize is you live inside of a warehouse. That's why you have people who are.
I think I do realize.
They're not organized.
I've got copies of Legitimacy. I've got all my books. They're right here.
Yeah, you live. I've seen your studio. Your studio is a warehouse. You set that up for ease of access.
And I do have, and unfortunately, I do have them stacked, but it's more about the shelves than anything.
Yeah, you're maximizing the use of the shelves.
But it's very stagnant. But it's a bit different though, because they're sort of coming and going. I mean, I don't know. I just think that they need to be upright for your energy of Zardoz.
I am right about this, and you are wrong. That's all that matters.
Well, it'd be Marie Kondo that's wrong.
Yeah, well, no,
Marie Kondo is not wrong.
What she did was genius. She wrote a book on organization and sold that book. And that's the whole point of it. It was to make money.
Yes. All cults start out with basic self-help. That's what they do. They'll give you, they give you a basic self-help book. Get up in the morning, brush your teeth, do your exercises.
Yeah.
Get out there. Not that I'm very good at any of that, but if you're feeling it's not working for you, that's my best advice. And that's good. That's the beginning of the cult.
Yes, and that's what we're trying to start here. We're trying to start a cult. Did I hear my
The
favorite
cult of
producer?
Yeah,
Dozar.
but as soon as you say that you're a cult, you're no longer a cult, because the first rule of a cult is that you can never admit that you're a cult.
Really?
Yep.
Well, what about the cult of Mac? I
But
don't
Pine
believe that.
Fox is here.
I
Hi,
think
Pine
that
Fox.
that rule doesn't apply anymore.
So I was just saying hello to our viewers. Remember,
Oh,
we were prioritizing viewer comments. I
oh,
sort of
that's right.
assured
Hi, Pine
people that I
Fox.
was placing viewer comments. But
You
we
really
can
haven't
continue
missed
the
anything.
discussion.
I
Didn't
was
really
going to show
interrupt what you were saying. Thanks, Pine Fox.
Chuck something interesting in Clip Studio Paint, but my screen isn't shared.
Oh, you're getting to work. All right, I'm going to get to work here.
Okay. What I wanted to show was there's a function in Clip Studio Paint called a fill layer. And so those of you who don't know Clip Studio Paint, it's similar to Photoshop. And normally you would create a raster layer and use something like a paint bucket tool to fill flat a cartoon. When you fill an area of a cartoon with flat color, it's called flatting. And so I've got an ink drawing here, which is done on a vector layer, and I've been coloring it. But Clip Studio Paint has this really cool thing where rather than use the paint bucket tool, I'm going to use select. So I'm using the magic wand. I've selected this chest piece. And then you notice that whenever you do a selection in Clip Studio Paint, you will get this toolbar that will come up underneath. And the cool thing about this toolbar, which allows you to do various things with the selection, is you can add things to it. So I've got a paint bucket down here. I've got a lasso to add and subtract selection. And I now put in this button that allows me to immediately create a fill layer. And now I have the color interface. I pick the layer color and I hit OK. And not only is it filled the layer, so here's this new layer, and you'll notice there's a layer mask attached to it. So we created a layer mask based on that selection. Now, you're adding a lot of layers, but what's the advantage of this? The advantage is you can double click on this thumbnail. It brings up the color dialog again. And I can now, on the fly, change that color. And so, I can go into this blue and I can make that kind of an orange, and I could grab that. So it's a way of flattening the colors, and then rather having to go in and use the color select tool and using the color adjustment sliders, I now have the full color palette that I can see rather than using sliders. So that's interesting to me. And also, what I normally don't do, which I'm now learning to do, is I can name these layers using voice recognition. Okay, so that's my show and tell. Oh, the other thing is you have all of these selections still because they're layer masked. So you can use them like airbrush frisket if you want, because you can just grab that layer mask and tell it to go selection from layer, create selection. And now I have what I selected. I can create a raster layer, grab the airbrush, grab a color like, let's just say white, and I don't know
What is
how,
it that you're drawing there?
oh, just a monster of some sort. But you can easily go in and do the shading because you've created all these airbrush friskets. So I encourage our viewers, if you're in Clip Studio Paint, to explore the fill layers and explore adding custom tools to your selection toolbar. Okay, you can turn me off.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah, put me up in the big window there. I'm going to encourage you to explore the opportunities of this nice paint set that they've been
Wow.
making the same. So I don't know. I think they just changed the style again. They change the style every couple of decades or so. But this is the Pelican paint set. Now, Pelican, I believe, is a German company, but you know, they seem more common here in the US than I saw in the UK. But I did have a Pelican paint set in the UK.
Is that the Pelican like who makes the fountain pens?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the fancy pen and paint. And then
They
my other
make
favorite tool, uh, Higgins ink, waterproof ink. Not, I was using Black Magic for a long time. Black Magic is much thicker. Black Magic was designed for painting on film, but some artists swear by it because of its like blacky blackness. And I
Blackie.
used it for a long time because I thought it was the best, but I didn't really understand. And now I've sort of discovered just regular Higgins. I thought the other Higgins was waterproof. All right, now can you bring up like my desk cam in the main window because I've got some things to show off here. I got
No,
sent
I
a little
can't.
package.
Your desk cam is not activated.
Oh, my desk cam's not activated yet. Oh, I didn't do that. Okay, hang on. Let me add camera. There we go. All right, should be up there now. All right. So I got a nice little package from Goodwin Games. Oh yeah, they always have a. Sorry. They always have a little label sticker on there that he'll get some of the artists to do. I've done some in the past for mailings. That's fun. And ooh, like he keeps us busy though. Here, ooh, hello, my camera's sideways. How about that? Ooh, and it's flipped. Wait, that's upside down. Wait, that way.
You're the
Wait,
worst. Okay, and it's mirrored image, so you got to flip it.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, that light's quite bright. I don't know if I turn that off. Maybe there's enough ambient light. That makes it better. Dungeon Delves. Look, who did this cover? That is the work of none other than Errol Otis.
Cool.
Who Errol Otis is most famous probably for his sort of basic edition Dungeons and Dragons illustrations, where he did a lot of them in there, and those are somewhat his sort of cleanest, straightest ones. Like he did a lot of other early D&D illustrations, and you know nowadays he's much more sort of pushing into the surreal. But actually, when you look at it, you know the more you look at it, the more you know kind of dimensional and amazing it becomes somehow.
Now, did he do that digitally or is that analog?
How does he work? I'm pretty sure I don't know. Let me put my glasses on and really examine this up close here. I mean, that's painted. I think that looks like painted. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And Goodman generally wants everybody to do painted work, so that doesn't surprise me.
Well,
Anyway, they're the masters on the cover, and then in here we've got Stefan Poag, who I love. Stefan, look at all this detail. Oh my god, all that hatching.
Nice.
That's what the people like. They love that. They love Stefan. All right, look. Oh, but then okay, this one, the first one in there, so I'm quite happy about that. There we go. And look, there's my buddy James West, my good friend James West, who we did a sort of blog, The Wizards of Ur, together, and I've always loved his work. And I don't know, here we are, published together, and here's my map that I did. One bad apple. Well, it was only supposed to be a half-page map, but I really did it to be a full-page map because greedy.
Wow, they shrunk that down.
He shrunk it down, and he put in quite a lot of bleed that didn't need to be there. But all right, that's the trouble. Is like I always sort of paint out all the stuff in the bleed, and then they want to put it in. I'd like that to be in the whole page. One day I'll do a map book. All right, he didn't do everything in here by any means. He always has everybody does different things. Aaron Creeder, he's done a few. He does some quite nice stuff that I like. Beneath the Mountain, who illustrated that? That's Bradley McDevitt. That's nice. This comes together nicely. There's another Aaron Creeder one. He's done a few. There's another one. The Portal Worms Burrow. Who's this? Ooh, I don't know. Don't know. It could be Joe Abareno, but it could be a lot of people. Not sure. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, okay, WM. I think that's William McCausland. He does a lot of covers now. For Fallen Grove, that was another one I did with Druids.
Nice.
That's good. That was actually, I thought, that's going to be easy, but then I thought it's sort of harder than you think with all that foliage. But I sort of got it kind of right. Yeah, you want the map to sort of stand out as being basically what it is. But then, you want to be able to sort of look in the detail.
I love the lettering.
Yeah, that's one. Okay, like a couple of them, I'm like, I did it more with sort of greys. I'm wondering, should I have done more heavy blacks? I should have gone in with more blacks, I think, at the end. But all right. It's hard to get it right. Aaron Creeder again. I do quite like Aaron's style there. Like okay, I might steal some things off him. You've got to study the work of everyone else because everyone's doing such amazing work.
Yeah.
And then who's that there again? That's not Bradley. I don't think. I'm not sure they didn't sign it. You got to put your little. You got to put your little moniker on there. But it's hard to remember all the time.
You can always put it in the illustration. I mean, that when I was a kid and you look at the book covers at the bookstore, you were always looking for Michael Whalen's little logo, which he would hide in his painting as a detail of some mechanical object or on a coin or something.
I really like this one, Galambos. I don't know who that is. Oh, he might be that Spanish guy. Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay.
There's a Spanish guy?
Yes. The last time we had an artist call, there was a Spanish guy there. And it was interesting. And I asked him about Vincent Segral because I've recently been reading Vicente Segral. But and he once he understood who I was talking about, he knew all about it. And he said, "Oh yes," and then he said there's a lot of people who were really fanatical about him, and there'd be like a book in the library that would always be out that was Vincent Segral. Like everyone wanted that one. Ooh, that's a cool thing as well. MD Sutton. All right, I'm not sure of all these people. That's another one I did, but that's a nice one. Mm-hmm. They did it more creepy. All right, you can take a lot of license a lot of times with it. I don't know. I mean, I usually try to be fairly accurate to the brief, but they don't really mind if we go totally off piece. With the illustrations, with the map, I think we have to be a bit more. I don't know. I never know what they care about or not. There's like so much
check the private chat.
Oh,
what's in the private chat? Going to you? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'll read through this because that's all right. I can't show you all of everything, but that one.
Now is that a magazine or is that a game module?
So this is a 2-page dungeon delve. So I believe you'll be able to get it in a retail store, but usually these things are produced as a stretch goal on a Kickstarter.
Okay. All right.
So
But is it
here's
a
another one, Trials
magazine?
in Batmaster's Tomb. All right, I'm going to go through these more quickly, but this one, this has this
Oh, I
frontispiece that I
remember
was
that
really
one.
happy with that I did.
That was that huge perspective problem you had.
Yes, and it printed very nicely there, and that all looks good. Actually, I'm very happy with that. And look, see, I did use quite a lot of black and the shading, so yeah, I was quite happy with that one, and that's good.
Okay.
And it's a nice big bold design that gets you on the page. So sometimes you haven't really seen it until you do it and get it in the book. Oh yeah, and here's the tomb. All right, again, I think he used too much of my bleed, but fine. Yeah, that one looks very nice. That came out good. I'm really happy with how it reproduced.
Cool.
So definitely, yeah, good amount of black, and then the washes. Yeah, that's all in there. Everything's in there pretty good. Very happy with that. Good. I think that's all I did on there. Anyway, lovely module there. Oh, there's another picture of him. That's interesting. That's Bradley's version of him. I gave him some eyes to give him a bit more personality, but I think he grows more as you go. Oh no, wait! I did these handouts. Yes, all right. Oh yeah, then they reproduced it. Oh look, cheeky, you got a free one there. Okay. But actually, that looks pretty good at that scale. All right, okay. Yeah, they all came out as intended. These player handouts. I mean, yeah, I really, had to think like, oh, how are the players going to see it? What do they see? All right. Yeah, okay, and then they've got some great stuff. So, I should auto read all this stuff at the back too. All right, find out what's going on. What are these? Oh, the wet noodle pit trap. Look, this. Okay, look. Oh, that's nice. All right. Okay. Okay, look, and then they printed this right because in the actual book, like too much of this cuts off, but they've got the whole thing in here, which is nice.
All right, why don't we get on with some drawing?
Yeah.
Wait. There's still a lot of good stuff in here. Hang on, but you're right. We will do it just a sec. Wait. All right, the Goodman Games Gazette. I did a couple of things in there. Here's Grim Tooth's old school traps book. So these were there. Okay, there's Bradley's. So there's mine in here. Okay, it's not as much as I thought, but it does seem like it's cutting a little off. But all right, it's not too bad. Yeah, okay, it's mostly all there. Right. So yeah, I got that on the bottom of every page, and then there's a few that I did in here, but mostly they were older ones. Yeah, that one's one of mine. That's one of mine. All right, so yeah, mine are in there, popping up with the old classics. So and Grim Tooth Traps, that is. That's a project that's been around for a long time, and I always thought, I'd love to work on that on traps one day, and I really enjoyed doing traps. So, if anyone wants to send me any traps to illustrate, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah, I did quite a few in here, so that's good. So that's a nice and the thing at the bottom. So, very chuffed with that. Thank you.
Chuffed.
Dungeon Crawl Classics, Grimtooth's Old School Traps.
Okay.
All right, the book of bonus traps. Oh, crikey, I did some bonus traps in here too, I think.
Is that the new word of the day? Chuffed? I mean, didn't we have twaddle last time?
Chuffed. All right, yeah, all right. So okay, look. Oh, okay. I didn't even open this. Okay, this whole big book of Dungeon Denizens. Well, I only did a very few things in here, but it's a whole big. A lot of them were working very hard on monsters in here. All right, so we'll look at that another day then. Yes, that's producer's right. Let's get on with a bit of drawing. How about we can put the theme tune on. We didn't do that yet.
We don't need it.
All right, I'll run the theme tune.
We don't need
It's in video storage.
You just.
Oh wait, no, it's in the titles, right? Okay, I got it.
All right. click back to the other scene. Maybe he's gone. Here we go. All right. Here we are. Maybe it can be in more of a sort of. Straighter. All right. Well, what am I going to draw? That's always the next question. Any requests?
A city. I want to see a city
A city.
with 1,000.
Daredevil.
No, we're not doing Daredevil.
Right, Daredevil. I'm not. I don't know if to do. Back in a minute, Daredevil.
I'm not going to do Daredevil.
The last episode of the new show is coming out this Tuesday.
What show?
The new Daredevil show.
There's a Daredevil show?
Yeah, it's like the best MCU content because it's a lot better.
MCU is still a thing?
Oh yeah, the world keeps moving even when you stop paying attention, Dale.
Okay. All right. The new Daredevil is like really low on my list of things.
I'm not saying you have to watch it. I'm just saying.
Maybe your list is a bit messed up there, then, Dale. Maybe you should prioritize it.
Daredevil is like very. It's so good in my opinion, though.
Yeah, a Disney Plus subscription might cheer you right up.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you need. A little bit of Mickey.
No, I'm not getting any subscription.
You can watch Doctor Who. You can watch New Doctor Who. You can watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I watched Banachek.
Oh, we watched.
Do you know
what
Banachek is? Charles?
What?
Banachek. Do you watch Banachek?
Never heard of it.
Oh my god, it is so good.
That sounds like some cop show from the 60s or 70s.
Wait, me and Dylan last night watched this interesting show called YOLO. It's this very interesting animated show that is in a similar style to the show Smiling Friends. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Yeah.
That's been a popular animated show. And I would recommend it if you like wacky adult animation. It's pretty out there.
Dude,
Me and Dylan had a good laugh. It's on Max.
Adult animation when you had to go to a movie theater to see it.
Yeah, not that kind of adult animation.
No.
Yeah, and it's because of all those people going to see those in the movie theater. Now we're inundated on television.
Yes.
Dude.
Now everybody wants their own adult animation show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's always like been a big thing in the USA. Like, you really know you've made it when they want to make an animated show out of you. Like MC Hammer, he had like his animated show.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if that's still the same thing. I mean, do they all want animated shows still? I think they do. I think everybody really wants an animated show about them.
Maybe everybody just wants a show. In an animated show.
No. But animated show means like, I don't know. That show.
It's less work for the actors, but it's also less pay. Like, it doesn't pay as well.
But no, by the time an animated show is being made, you're coining it in, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah. See, voice work exists for old actors and ugly actors. They gotta eat.
The only like otherwise the only anime shows you get are ones that are like, corporate ones like, we want to sell a toy, let's make He-Man. I mean, I can even as well. I mean, I guess I was a little too old for He-Man because it was like blatantly obvious they were only doing it to sell toys, even to me as a child.
Well,
but somehow, people all have all this affection for it, and you're like, well, okay.
What, He-Man? Oh God, no. He-Man was awful.
I mean, like they're even trying to say the He-Man movie was good now. It's like, wait,
I
everybody
saw
thought
the He-Man movie. It was great.
it was good.
And Dolph Lundgren. It was a great movie. Okay, I drew a little.
Okay, I mean, all right. I suppose it probably had its moments. I don't know.
Yes,
I seem to remember it got in England. Like Langella got a lot of good reviews for Skeletor. I'm like, really? You're giving this movie a good review for his portrayal of Skeletor?
Great. It was a great movie. The question, actually, I have to ask: did Charles know who He-Man is?
I know He-Man.
I think so.
I do know He-Man.
Okay, you do know He-Man. All right, that's good. No, there's no movies that I'm looking forward to. I just saw the extended preview for the new Superman, which
Oh, yeah, that looked good. I didn't see the extended one, but I saw like, okay, it looks like they're gonna have some fun.
They did a 5-minute preview.
Ooh,
yeah,
It looks interesting.
looks like it's getting back to the basics.
the
only thing I didn't like was the dad. Like now his dad's like some.
Wait, what?
They changed.
I didn't see anything about his dad.
In the old, he was always kind of a skinny farmer type, you know, like the guy holding the pitchfork.
Yeah, from American Gothic.
Yeah, he's like American. He's an American Gothic. Now he's like a big schlub.
Oh, okay. I see.
That just made me laugh.
I didn't see his dad in it.
But how do we know that's his dad?
Well, because it was like he was on the farm with, I don't know, maybe it was his uncle.
Yeah,
it seemed like that's his dad saying, Clark, you've got to go off to the big city in the trailer I saw. I mean,
it doesn't necessarily mean it's his dad.
Well, it seemed to be like, according to every other version of Superman, which it looked like it was following along, that seemed like the dad character who was finding him as a baby and raising him.
Oh, good. Did you see that they added Puppet Warp to Clip Studio Paint version 4.0?
I can't say as I would. I'm not sure how I would have known that.
Oh, that's
but
why
I'd have to be like subscribed to some sort of Clip Studio Paint blog.
That's why I'm here.
I don't know if you can see much what I'm doing. I'm doing a bit more of an undersketch, but because it's Daredevil.
Are you doing female Daredevil?
Well, I'm doing Elektra because I did like
Elektra Daredevil.
Bill Sienkiewicz. Maybe I'll do Bill Sienkiewicz Elektra, but right now I'm doing like I think she's a more current Elektra, but I've got a cosplayer, so I'm drawing from a picture of a cosplayer.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know she plays Daredevil role sometimes. Well, that'll look good in your style.
Daredevil. I'm trying to remember which emotionally damaged Stan Lee superhero Daredevil is.
He's the one who's a blind Catholic.
Oh, isn't he a lawyer?
And he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. Yeah, he's a blind lawyer. I don't know, the Catholic thing I never really thought of very much, but I suppose there's a Gothic thing.
Okay.
Marvel does have sort of Dracula.
The whole thing is that, he's a Catholic, but he dresses up in a devil costume. How weird is that?
That is pretty weird.
I mean, Dracula was a big thing for Marvel at one point. Like like Conan and Dracula were their big hits.
Really?
Spider-Man.
Dracula was a superhero?
Well, no, he was a villain.
In the 70s, like they would do like Marvel Dracula. Yeah, it was a big hit.
But he was a villain. Like, I don't know when Blade came in, but Dracula is definitely Blade's biggest villain.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe Blade came in fighting Dracula. I don't know. And no, Dracula, he was like he had his own title. It was a big title.
Really?
Yeah, look it up. All right,
Well,
that's produced
I can understand that because you already had the cape.
Yeah. It was sort of when they were doing like more magazines, like in the 70s, right? They had like there were like, well, I guess there was heavy metal from Europe, which is sort of reviving now, but there were the more like longer, like creepy and eerie
Oh, I
and
remember those.
Savage Sword of Conan. I mean, there was Conan the
Epic.
comic book, and then there was Savage Sword of Conan. And Savage
Marvel's
Sword of
Epic
Conan was like their biggest
magazine.
seller. Conan was their biggest seller in the 70s for like a decade.
Marvel's Epic magazine was amazing. I used to get that regularly. That's because I was cool.
I don't know. I haven't got. I would read Savage Sword of Conan when I could find it as a kid. I like that a lot. But I don't know. I never saw the Conan comics very much, and we sort of stopped getting those in the UK. Like they sort of grew Marvel UK in the 80s, and then we stopped getting all the US import ones, which was a
I
shame.
wonder if there was some sort of different sales or regulations that made them do it in that format. Because I remember one of my favorite magazines was a Space 1999 comic. And it was black. They had a color comic by Carlton, but they had a black and white magazine as well. And the artwork in that was far superior. I think it was for the more grown-up kids.
Space 1999 magazine. That's very interesting. I watched a good little documentary about Jerry and Sylvia Anderson the other day
Ooh, where?
on YouTube.
That's where all the kids.
YouTube's where it's at. Everything's moving to YouTube now.
I'm surprised.
That's where it's going.
Well, people are getting a little bit sick of how, like, content created by corporations is just so, like, okay, our bottom line is that this has to make money. We don't care about it being good. And,
Well,
usually individuals want to make actually good content.
well, we don't.
Maybe our stream might not be the most entertaining stream, but we are literally producing good content, like we're drawing.
I don't see that at all. But even if you're an independent person creating content, you've got to merch it in some way to make some money. Otherwise,
Yeah, but
why?
not every person on the internet is trying to make, like, a lot of these people, they're like, oh, I'm posting for fun, and then it blows up, and they're like, oh, I can do this for my job now, and then they do that.
Trust me, everyone eventually wants to do this for money.
Yeah, but very few people actually are able to.
In the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. Who said that?
That was Andy Warhol.
Yeah, so you should listen to that guy. He's got a lot of inspiring quotes for all occasions.
Yeah, and you know what happened to Andy Warhol?
Are you going to tell me that he died?
Yes.
Wait,
you're just knowing now that Andy Warhol's dead?
no. I mean, when did he die?
I don't know, a few months ago.
No, I mean, like was it the 80s or the 70s?
Dude, I don't concern myself with dead artists.
Those are the only ones that are any good. The
Yeah,
living ones haven't finished yet. You can't tell. You can't tell if they're any good until they're finished.
You can't tell. Well, I'll tell you though, that's sometimes where you make your biggest money after you're dead. Work for Elvis.
Yeah, I mean, look. Well, Peanuts. Oh, reminds me, I'm going to be at the on Easter Saturday, April 19th. I'm going to be at the Schultz Museum,
Really?
which is a bit like going to the cathedral,
The
the
Mecca?
temple of cartooning, the Mecca.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to go anymore.
What, your
So,
band?
yeah, I'm slightly banned from the museum.
How?
I snuck down the basement underneath the ice rink.
What?
Yeah, that's where they have them cryogenically preserved, like Walt Disney.
Wait, they found you sneaking around under the ice rink looking for his
Yeah,
frozen body.
not looking. I saw it. I saw the sarcophagus. It's awesome.
Oh, okay, it's down there. Is Disney and Kennedy there too?
No, no, just Schulz. It's awesome. It's like he's in this golden Snoopy on top of this giant marble doghouse. But I could only stay in there for a few seconds because it was so cold. No,
Okay,
that's not true. I'm exaggerating.
it's an April Fool.
I am a fool.
All right, well, I'll go and look for it myself when I'm there.
No, the Schulz Museum is epic. Oh, I hate using the wrong layer.
Are there many other places you're banned and blocked from?
What?
Are there many other places you're banned and blocked from?
Well, I'm not going to be on the Philo show anymore.
Well, apparently.
Yes, I'm blocked in a lot of places.
Now, what else have I got to tell you? Okay, this evening I'm going to be at the Starry Plough in Berkeley.
Oh, that's a pub.
Yes.
I wonder when you're there if they'll be serving food.
That's a good question. I don't know. Are you thinking
Okay.
about coming out?
What, drive to Berkeley
Yeah.
today? No,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go to Santa Cruz, hang out with some people. Um,
Well, it's going to be, I don't know, some sort of album release party and punk rock circus. Although it seems to be less about the punk rock circus, as far as I can tell, and more about the album release party. But and there's going to be some sort of cabaret performer there as well, too, I think.
Cool.
Which looked pretty good. And I thought, oh, well, that's someone to draw. Someone to draw if I don't know what to draw.
I have not gone to the Starry Plough. Usually, when I go up to Berkeley, I'm trying to hit all the bookstores because uh, Berkeley has amazing bookstores. Oh, wow, you actually are trying to do Daredevil.
Well, I'm
Wow.
doing sort of Electra.
Oh, you're doing Electra.
But she's, it's kind of,
He's doing
now I'm
Electro
getting to the shading. I'm like, oh, it's
as
quite a good
Daredevil.
pose for a quick drawing, but
Who's,
for the shading,
who's
I'm like, oh,
Electra?
she's very backlit.
Electra is. Do you want the whole story or the short story?
Well, short
Wasn't
story,
she
she's his
like,
girlfriend.
wasn't she
Yeah.
like one of Ben Affleck's squeezes?
Yes,
Yes, she
Jennifer
was in the
Garner
Ben
played her in
Affleck
the movie. Yeah,
and then they decided for some reason she was a good enough character to warrant her entire spin-off movie, which may, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst superhero movies ever.
Yeah, it should. Like
Yeah,
epic
it's hard.
high.
I don't know. I couldn't watch it long enough to really determine if it was going to be the worst ever, but it was like,
Which is a sin, which is probably the biggest sin in movies, is that it's so uninteresting you can't even get people to finish the
yeah,
movie.
it's just not interesting. Yeah.
It's like if it's a bad movie, at least maybe it's bad enough for people to want to, see it through the end, just see how bad it really is. You can get some entertainment of how bad it is. The worst sin you can commit being a movie is being boring.
Okay.
You don't agree?
Uh,
No, Dale doesn't
no.
agree. His favorite movie is Zardos, so he hardly thinks that
Oh,
being
okay, I see.
boring is a drawback to a good movie.
Yeah, I don't. Stardust isn't boring. It's just it's a movie you have to think about.
Oh, so it's like you have to have a certain level of intellect to understand it.
Yeah, yeah. You have to.
You
You
have to have
have
a
to have some.
Dale-sized
Do
intellect.
you,
You
do
have to
you
have
understand
some smarts.
that there are that's just totally a meme, like Rick and Morty watchers say that about Rick and Morty. You have to have a certain level of IQ to understand Rick and Morty. Like,
Yeah.
You do. I think you do. There's so much happening so fast at Rick and Morty. I mean, you aren't going to get the jokes unless you know all this stuff.
Nobody watches Rick and Morty anymore. They jumped the shark. Now there was someone who was accused of inappropriate behavior.
yeah, Justin Roiland.
Yeah, so I thought they had to get a new voice actor.
They did have to get a new voice actor. They got a pretty good impersonator who has
Yeah,
almost
well,
the same exact voice.
yeah, no, they never have the exact same voice. That's see, once a series jumps the shark like that, it's
That's not
time
a
to
series
find out.
jumping the shark. Why
What
is that? Why is it that a series jumping? That's good. They're protecting their integrity.
Integrity.
I don't want to show with integrity.
You don't want to show with integrity.
No, no, shows with integrity.
Well, welcome to the USA.
Shows with integrity suck.
Well, yeah, exactly. But all right, okay. I thought you were railing against all the lack of
Against the
integrity.
injustice in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of giving up on that.
I think everyone's like, oh god, I just can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm giving up on injustice.
That's how they get you. That's how it works. That's how social trust breaks down.
Yeah. Um, I must say that I'm a little disappointed in the world right now.
Oh, you're blaming the world.
I'm blaming the world. It's the world's fault.
Well, I had a lot of complaints, similar complaints about England as well. I mean, even though they've got Keir Starmer in charge, seems all right to me. He's in the middle of the road, but so everybody hates him. It's very funny.
I thought that was normal for British politics for everybody to hate everybody.
I suppose so. I don't know. He seems particularly.
Uh,
I just think it's funny because he's trying to be the middle path, and it's like he's too boring. That's the main complaint they have about him. Too boring. I mean, you should be happy. Like, yes,
I
boring
want
is the
boring.
bloody point.
I'll tell you,
Doesn't
if I've
sound
learned
like
anything, I want boring. Yeah. So you're going to be at the Schulz Museum. Are you going to stay overnight, or are you going
no, not unless I get really friendly with Jeannie Schultz.
to? Okay. She's.
You never know. She might do. I think she was asking me like financial advice last time I was there.
Are you kidding me? I thought
Yeah.
she was like worth $1 bazillion.
Well, she was asking me. I think it's because I was wearing my pink pussy hat,
Oh, okay.
and she was saying that her friends wanted her to invest in like the Kamala Harris races that hadn't finished counting yet. But she was like, I don't think there's much hope, is there? Should I be giving them money?
Let's change the subject.
I was like, give it to me.
Let's change the subject.
I don't think
Um,
it's going to make any difference at that point. Oh, righty. Well, the world that could have been.
the world that could have been. What else is going on? I really do like being able to mess with these fill color layers in Clip Studio Paint. And the puppet rig, unfortunately, in Clip Studio Paint doesn't work on vector layers, so it's not that useful to me. But if I do some type, like I'll draw a type on a raster layer, and you have to like paint out a rectangle because the the puppet warp tries to make each letter a separate puppet, but if you paint it on like a rectangle of light gray and then warp that rectangle, you can really mess around with the text. Like if you share my screen right now, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, wait. Okay. Thing is, like the longer you draw something like a costume, it's like the more you go, oh wait, I see what's going on. Costumes very interesting things to draw.
And of course, nobody's listening to me.
If anybody finds anything Dale's saying interesting, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Hey, you never know.
Never know. I might have a fan.
Maybe someone's watching and just screaming at the screen, Dale's so right. These idiots are not
I am
listening.
always right. You
The
always
trouble
ask.
is that person would have to be like an even bigger Zardos fan than Dale, and I'm not sure.
I don't think they exist.
That's what I think you're sort of becoming famous as the world authority on Zardos.
Hey, dude,
That's going to be that's
don't
your
make
niche
fun
that
of the
you're carving out
Zaz.
over
Dude, don't make fun of the Zaz. Everyone loves Zardoz.
Yeah, because it's so easy to make fun of. And you feel okay making some because, like, he's James Bond for God's sake. So that's the whole point. Like, one minute he's the coolest guy in the world,
Yeah.
and the next minute he's running around in like a man. What do you call that outfit? I mean, it's the same thing Borat wore, basically.
It's a. I assume it's a loincloth or something similar.
Do you remember though the thing that originally influenced Borat on that I Kiss You, the
No,
website? You don't remember I Kiss You?
no, I didn't. Dude, I didn't watch Borat.
No. But okay, producer, look up I Kiss You website.
I
Do you know what I'm
kiss
talking
you.
about? Yeah, it was really early. It was
I
one of the first,
kiss
really first
you,
internet memes.
Borat.
No, well, you don't have to look up Borat. Just look I Kiss You because it was before Borat.
Um, Popular internet meme based on the personal homepage of Mahir Kagiri.
Yeah. Does the page still exist?
No.
It doesn't exist anymore, but there must be a copy of it somewhere. Internet Wayback Machine would have a copy. See, inking is It's sort of a really different thing.
Yeah, these
from
references are too old to bring up on the screen, unfortunately.
Really, that's gone. That was like so important. That was so fundamental to Borat. There's no copy of that site that you can find.
I mean, there's just people talking about it. It's not like it's erased from the
Wow.
internet, but he probably just stopped paying to host the site.
No, but nobody kept a copy of it for internet history.
Not that I can find.
I
It
love
was
the
sort of the
Internet
first kind
Archive.
of thing, like this sort of silly website. This like because he was quite honest and authentic, but it was I kiss you.
Okay, maybe this is
uh,
it. Maybe this is it. Let's see.
can you bring it up?
Yes. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, there you go. I kiss you. Here it is. This is the guy. I mean, really, Borat was based off this guy.
Well, I hope the guy sued him.
He is suing Borat
Good.
currently.
How would you like to be ridiculed? Like have someone make a movie about you like Borat?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, somebody make a movie. I mean, they probably would. I wouldn't be surprised. And people have written songs about me.
Yeah,
Not
that I don't
flattering ones.
understand at all. You know, I can only imagine the family fights at the Whalen household. They're like, you know, you're wrong, Dad. And he says, yeah, but I can't be wrong. I have people who write songs about me.
There's a
They
lot of
don't.
other reasons he says that he can't be wrong. It's not that.
Really? But, wow. You know, I cannot imagine what it's like to live with a celebrity cartoonist.
Yeah, so you know, sometimes it's hard to keep their ego in check.
What do you do? I mean, do you like?
Well, it's like you said, I have to keep him on his toes, make sure he stands up for what he believes in.
Okay, I didn't know he believed in anything.
That's right.
Well, I certainly make him question what he believes in, I think.
Do you question what I do? You well, okay, well,
Do I question your beliefs, Dale? Yes, I definitely question your
well,
beliefs.
I want to.
No, I don't question. I accept your beliefs on faith. I mean, you know, you're allowed to believe whatever you like. I'm fascinated to learn more about your faith in the Zardos.
Well, it's just an offshoot of believing that we live in an underground comic strip. Now, I'm interested in you're going to the Schulz Museum. I mean, that's Santa Rosa. Are you gonna hit any other of the high spots in Santa Rosa?
Well, okay, here's the thing. That day, April 19th, Easter Saturday, is also the grand opening of the Wonder World store in
Oh,
Mill
in
Valley.
Mill Valley that
Yeah.
your friend's working on.
Yes, so this sort of puppetry experience, you can go to wonderworld.com. It's actually spelled WOANDER,
Mm-hmm.
Wanda, Wanda, because he would go for a wander in the woods. But all right, so
So it's
he's
Wander World instead of Wonder
yes,
World.
yes,
You
W
know,
A Wanda World kind of thing.
a friend of mine, Ricky Vincent, with the Puppetry Institute, is going to have something, an immersive experience opening in the Capitola Mall in May. So it's just kind of amusing to me. There's one now
Yes,
to be in Mill Valley and one
all
going
right,
to be in
Well, maybe they
Capitola.
can do a collab, or maybe they'll
yeah.
be arch
Well, I
enemies.
want to see what the difference between the two is because,
Well, Matthews, he's got a retail store that's opened
okay.
or will be opening
And what will they
on
sell?
April 19th. And but he's got it. He's having it sort of designed and fitted out at this time.
Wow. So this is big money.
Yeah, he's investing a good bit in it, I think. Yes, but he's hoping to attract bigger investments.
Okay.
So anyway, yes. So he's opening on the 19th. His thing is opening is sort of noon till 5, and mine is sort of noon till 4. I don't know if there's any way I can be out of there in time to get over. I'm a bit disappointed I can't, but all right.
Well, I'm debating now if I want to go up there to check it out.
Yes, well, it'll be a very interesting experience. There's also going to be an art walk there on like May 5th or something, like on a Tuesday evening. They have like the Mill Valley Art Walk, so he's going to be participating in that as well. And he'll be doing other events sort of this year over the summer. This is sort of phase 1 of his project, really, and it's a sort of learning and growing thing. But yeah, they've got these puppets that have been built and delivered, and I've seen some of them, and they're pretty amazing. And there's going to be like a sort of magic mirror. It's sort of going to be a combination, because there's going to be sort of high tech as well as sort of low tech.
Okay. Now, you said it's a retail store. What are they going to be selling?
Well, aside from other things, he's going to have some copies of some of my products, but board games, I think, and children's books and games and puzzles and puppets, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be stocking, but yeah, he will have copies of, Legitimacy and Where's Itsy Bitsy Spider. And
That's
some
cool.
of my books.
Oh, is this in a mall?
It's at 76 Throckmorton, which is really sort of the middle of downtown Mill Valley. There is it's kind of like a little shopping complex and parking area there.
Okay.
And like lots of shops and restaurants, yes.
Yeah.
And families and kids. It's a fairly sort of enclosed little environment, I suppose. But it's it's busy, and there's people about.
Yeah, malls have a problem right now. How do you attract people? Because they're learning that restaurants just ain't doing it. And they have a high turnover. They need, as you watch malls die.
It's also like, I don't know. I'm not sure the last time I've heard anybody be like, ooh, let's go to this restaurant in a mall.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not the right place for a restaurant. That's like, you get quick food that you eat at your food court.
Well, the high-end malls will sometimes attract high-end restaurants. Like,
yeah, they do have restaurants in malls. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, they've always.
I know they do have them. I'm just saying, might be a good thing for the world to move on from that, because I don't think restaurants and malls is very nice.
Well, the high-end malls like Valley Fair, the highest end used to be something like the Cheesecake Factory, and then
that's the type of stuff you see in a mall.
Yeah, but something like Santana Row in San Jose, they'll have the left bank. So and they're trying to scale up the restaurants too. The malls that are surviving are the malls that cater to wealthy people. And
like Japantown Mall, that was very busy. We went to a restaurant there. That was nice.
I don't think Japantown Mall.
Japantown's a little different.
San Francisco.
But it's got a theme. Maybe that's the key. Maybe the rest of the malls need to have a sort of theme, like I'm a Japanese mall.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the Japantown Mall would be considered really upscale. I love it, though. One of my favorite stationery stores is there, Mido. Did you go into Mido when you were there?
I've been to Japantown many times, and Mido is fun.
Yeah.
Good store.
I went to a game store and a bookstore.
And then the guy who sells the model kits. Is that where you got my eagle?
Eagle.
Would you like me to say yes?
Well, it's one of the few places I can think of that would have it.
I got it from my secret supplier.
You got it at a garage sale.
No, I've got a secret source. I can probably get more of them if you want.
No. You talking about Fab USA? Your source for all things
You
Gary.
can't. You have to know, don't you?
Well, no, it's just I look at the toy sites. Those of you who don't know, Chuck got me a wonderful put it together yourself plastic model, old school plastic model of the Hawk from Space 1999, which was the warship that was in the episode War Games, first season Space 1999.
I think
And
they're having a bit of a resurgence. I think puppets are sort of generally. Well, I mean, I know that Space 1999 is not puppets, but it sort of comes in with all that with Jerry Anderson and that. I mean, I think they're sort of in. I don't know. I think somebody's like got some interest in promoting them at the moment.
well, our lovely ex-host Amber was into puppets. You have a puppet. There's the wonderful Puppetry Institute in Capitola. Your friend is coming out with an environment with puppets. I think people just miss things like the Muppet Show and Dark Crystal, and they want more puppets in their lives.
Well, I think people discovered this new toy of digital, and that's fair enough. People really wanted to pursue that and find out everything it could do, and like, okay, wow, all right, it can do a lot. But there was these other things that sort of worked really well for a really long time. So, I mean, the answer's somewhere probably in the middle with a bit of both.
I just bought two puppets last week. I was at Sushi Zono in I don't know if it's technically Campbell or San Jose. It's off Hamilton. But Abe's daughter was there, and Sabrina and I decided that she's 3 years old. So what do you get a 3-year-old? Get them
The
puppets,
3-year-old who has everything.
either that or a wood burning kit. So we went to a number of toy stores in the South Bay, and it was hard to find puppets. The old
I'll
days.
tell you who makes puppets also is Katie the Dragon Child, who does Dragon Child comics, and she makes dragon puppets locally, and she goes to all these shows, and she's a good person. I would support her puppets and her comics. If you like dragons.
Dragons are a popular puppet. That's one of the things at the Puppetry Institute kids want to make. They want to make dragon puppets.
Yeah. Well, I think she sells a good number of them, so they want to buy them too. But I don't know how many dragon puppets the economy can sustain. People can only buy so many Zardoz, copies of Zardoz and dragon puppets in the current economy.
That is true.
Wait, I didn't even see what she's doing here with her leg. She's got her whole leg up. It's just a shed.
That is true. You can only have. But it was hard to find puppets. And when I was I don't know, Charles,
Yeah.
do you remember Toys R Us?
He's gone.
Charles.
I always wanted an emu puppet. Do you remember Ron Hull and his emu? They would come on like Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And the emu would attack Johnny Carson and the guests.
Yeah. One of the one of the guys I know at the Puppetry Institute, he's building a turkey puppet like that.
Well, I was trying to encourage Matthew to do a goose puppet like that because he's got a get Jack and the Beanstalk. I thought I could have a, you could have a sort of golden goose. I think he might do it. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's doing, but we'll see.
Well, after the gorilla suit, I'm gonna probably build a puppet or another gorilla suit. I've ordered some TPU for my 3D printer because I'm seeing that people who are cosplayers are printing masks on their 3D printers using flexible filaments.
Golly.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. So I might be taking a break from Zardoz heads.
Golly.
Yeah. But are you going to do anything else while you're at the Schulz Museum? Are you going to go to the Bat Cave or?
No, I'm going to be exhibiting there with a number of other artists, including Paige Braddock, who's going to be there.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And it's a sort of a celebration of Paige Braddock. I think previously they had Raina Telgemeier there last year. This is the second one they've done.
It's she's on tour right now with Scott McCloud. She's got.
What's that? Yeah, she's got the Cartoonist Club with Scott McCloud.
I want to go to that. I should probably buy tickets.
I know what that's about. Is that going to be about Modern Tales, but done as a children's book?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think there's going to be a character who's like Joey Manley in there?
No.
Who's going to die an untimely death?
But it's fascinating that she's touring with Scott McCloud. Supposedly, that book she wrote is, in essence, a children's version of, and I'm probably completely wrong about this, a children's version of understanding comics. But I'm glad to see she keeps cranking stuff out. She's awesome. Rin is awesome. I met her at Ape years ago when she was cranking out zines.
Yeah. Right, how are we doing for time over here? 11:22. All right. Oh wait, I forgot your original request. I was going to put a city in the background. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Detroit.
Is that where Daredevil's set, in Detroit?
I don't know where Daredevil. I think most of the MCU was New York.
Yes, I think those movies were all happening there. Well, all right. Oh, it went very quiet.
No, I'm I guess I'm going to have to go up to the Shoals Museum to see you. And Paige.
Okay, well, all right. You don't have to go quite as far the following weekend, because the following weekend, which I suppose will now be April 26th, I will be at the Peninsula Libraries Comic Arts Festival at the South San Francisco Public Library, and there's a sort of comic fest day on the peninsula. So that's a little less of a hike for you the following week.
I like going up to. I haven't been to the Shoals Museum in a while. I need it. It's a good place to, you know, it's a good place to go get a hot chocolate at the ice rink and watch the Zambonis. Everyone needs to spend time watching Zamboni.
Now, hang on. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Where's my pen's gone? All right, and after this, I have to get my kit ready for tonight because I don't really have my stuff together.
You never have your stuff together.
No, I know.
Hey, I saw you posted a picture on your Facebook of that portrait you did that a private collector bought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was quite a wise art connoisseur who purchased that one.
Bet he has it hung in his bathroom.
Well, she liked it, the model. Like, I hadn't posted it. Oh, I don't know. She hadn't seen it before. If I hadn't, I can't remember. I thought I did. Maybe I did post it once before. But anyway, she gave it a nice comment. So that's always good.
Who hadn't seen it?
The model.
Oh, the model hadn't. Okay. Well, it's a lovely piece. I'm sure that the collector really enjoys it and treasures it.
Yes, and a couple of other people commented that they really liked that one as well.
Now, did you sell that during one of your open studios?
Ooh, is that when it was? Probably. Certainly, putting myself out there as an artist helps.
Yes, put yourself out there as an artist. It helps. Now, when you go to the Shoals Museum, are you going to bring the whole merch table?
Yes. I mean, I'll probably, I'll focus more on my sort of children's booky things, I think, probably.
Do you have any original? Oh, yeah, you should take originals from your children's booky stuff.
I should.
Yeah, because
I've done that in the past, but I never usually sell any originals, so I just don't really bother now.
All
right. I don't know. I mean, it's good to have a couple there. I think you're right. I should have a couple. Yeah.
You should have at least a couple there for people to look at, even if they don't buy.
Well, most people there tend to be Japanese tourists.
Yeah, and Japanese tourists have money. Yeah, Snoopy's huge in Japan.
Well, they won't be happy about new tariffs then.
No, they are not. No one is.
Some people must be. The shrimp farmers are.
I'm not even going to get in there. But no, if you're going to go to Santa Rosa, and I know you never listen to me about this, there's an awesome shop that you have to visit. Just make sure they're open. It's called the Bat Cave. So if you go downtown, it's a used toy store along the lines of Time Tunnel Toys in San Jose. In fact, sometimes they come down to the San Jose Super Toy Show, and we've seen them at the South Bay Comic Con. It's a great used toy store. Highly recommend it. It's in the downtown, and if you're going to be down there, you might as well go to Whistle Stop Antiques as well, which is a really
Well,
cool.
this all sounds good. I'm not going to have time to do any of that though. If I'm,
Okay.
because I'm going to be there
Well,
working
then
today.
I
And
will do it
if
for
I'm done,
myself.
I'm going to try and get to my friend's thing in Mill Valley. But I'm not going to succeed in that. But it's going to be the end of the day. I mean, anyway,
Yeah. Well, anyone who's
I'm going to be
been
tired, and the last thing I'm going to want to do is go tramping around a bunch of shops.
okay, anybody who has been to the Shoals Museum from the South Bay knows that your trip home is going to be a nightmare through San Francisco.
It's not that bad. I've done it that many times.
Oh, it's awful to get through the city, to get back onto 101 to get to San Jose. It's a nightmare.
Oh, for you, yeah, okay, for you. Well, okay, well, you don't just go straight down the 19th and
No, it
onto the
just
280.
it's a nightmare. This down, yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't go to the Shoals Museum more, is that it's just so horrible. San Francisco sucks. Visiting you is less of a chore now, but going up to Valencia or Japantown, it's just a nightmare. Everything in San Francisco is at least half an hour away from it. You can't get to anywhere in San Francisco in under 30 minutes.
Sure, you can. You can get from my house to the Presidio in 25 minutes.
Okay. I took you to the Legion of Honor. That was an hour, and it's in the same city.
An hour?
Yeah, it was an hour to get across the city to the Legion of Honor.
Well, I'm not sure what way we were going.
We were going in a straight line.
Well, they do say that a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points.
That city is just messed up. But that's cool. I'll have to go to see Paige Braddock. And I guess you.
I'll be there. A lot of other people there. I think Shannon's going to be there.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I forget. I didn't look at the list, but probably Lex will be there too.
Who will be there?
Lex Fajardo, Alexis Fajardo, Kid Beowulf.
Oh, yeah, he's there at the museum a lot.
He works at the studio. He works at the studio.
He works in the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's worked there for years.
I didn't know that. Kid Beowulf is an interesting project. I have a few volumes of that.
Yeah. Well, I talk with him from time to time about that and other things.
I think there is a comics and games store up in Santa Rosa. I just can't remember the name of it.
Okay. Daredevil Elektra. Um, Space here. Oops. Oh, I think there'd be like a little devil tail. So it just came off the end there anyway. Why did it do that? Oh, there's supposed to be some sort of city there. Um, rooftop, I suppose.
Oh, that's right. In Santa Rosa, there's also this awesome bookshop, Treehorn Books. So try to go see that.
Greenhorn book.
It's a used bookshop called Treehorn Books. There's also a good vinyl record store, but I can't remember the name of it. What time is it? Yeah, we got time. We got
11:40 coming up. All
we got
right.
plenty of time.
I'm wondering if I should add any little bit of a red to this.
You should add some red to that.
Yes, I'd read.
Yeah. Now, I don't watch this Daredevil show. Is there an Elektra in this show?
Yes, Elektra is in season 2.
And who plays her?
I do not know the actress. Let's see.
Okay. Is she attractive?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be very funny.
Elodie Young.
Elodie, I don't know that name.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in anything else.
Is that Lodel?
I.e.
Elodie. I've that name sounds familiar. What else she been in?
That's the thing is, these Marvel
What
TV
has she
shows,
been
they
in?
don't usually have well-known
She was
actresses.
in Gods of Egypt, The Hitman's Bodyguard,
Okay,
um,
she's been in some stuff then.
G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Okay.
Not to be missed.
Oh, she was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
Yeah,
the movie.
but not as the girl.
Um, no, she did not have a main role, it looks like.
Yeah, which one? The Danish one, or I mean the Scandinavian one, or the American one?
The one with Daniel Craig.
Okay, the American one, which was also it's not bad. It was pretty good.
Um,
It's terrible.
You thought it was terrible? I
Any
mean, it's
movie
terrible.
I only see once is terrible.
she's in she's the main actor in a TV show called The Cleaning Lady.
Okay.
Cleaning lady.
Got a picture of her wringing out a towel with blood in it.
Ooh.
An
No.
American crime drama television series.
Well, we do like our crime dramas.
Daredevil is a crime drama.
Really?
I mean, he's a lawyer dealing with a lot of crime.
Is
Yeah, I
it
mean, yeah,
technically a crime drama if you're fighting crime? Or does he fight crime?
That's the thing. He fights crime in his regular life and in his vigilante life.
Now, is he a defense attorney?
He is a
Because
defense attorney.
so does he capture these people and then defend them? Because
He
that would be a
didn't.
great way to drum up business.
He didn't do that in the show.
That would
Um,
be an
I
amazing
wouldn't be surprised if that was
scam.
something they tried in the comics.
That would be an amazing scam. I'm going to go out and I'm going to capture criminals and then I'm going to defend them. It's like a guy who owns a glass shop.
it's a good way to drum up business. Yeah, you go out as a superhero to catch people, and then you
Yeah,
get them you get them to hire you privately as a lawyer.
yeah. I mean, that's just freaking brilliant.
Well, that's what it's coming to these days. I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's all right, Dale. Prison's not so bad. You'll be right in the gulag.
Thanks. Ruined my whole day for me.
It'll be all right in the gulag. It'll be nice.
No, it won't.
There'll be like other people like you there.
No, I won't. Uh, but
Well, they're going to be pretty full if they're putting you in there. Let's put it that way.
I'm number one on the list. Um,
Number one on the list. No,
I'm just. But you're gonna have fun at the Shoals Museum. I guess I'm gonna go up, bow before the Beagle. I haven't been there in a while. I should get dinner while I'm up there. The problem is I don't know what are the good restaurants in Santa Rosa.
There's a big one in the mall that my brother-in-law really likes.
They have a mall? I had no idea.
Well,
Oh, that's
like
right. That's on the way to the
a
museum.
shopping centre place, like not an indoor mall.
No, there is
Um,
a mall on the way to the museum, and they had a comic shop years ago. I don't know if it's still there.
yeah.
See, the problem is I go up to Santa Rosa to a lecture at the museum, and then I have to do the drive home because it's like 3 hours each way because of traffic.
Okay.
I love the vector eraser in Clip Studio Paint because I can just make endless mistakes and fix them.
No, there's no mistakes. There's only happy accidents. That's teaching you a very bad habit. You can just erase your mistakes. That can't be done.
Uh,
Your mistakes haunt you forever. That's what they're there for.
Thank you. Yes, my mistakes will haunt me forever. Well, they're certainly haunting me now.
The problem is, the original, her face is very shadowed, but I'm a bit worried if I do that, I'm going to mess up the whole thing. So.
Time to whip out the white pen.
Ooh.
Joe Woes posted an interesting question on Facebook about AI.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a cartoonist, and let's say that you're becoming elderly, and you train an AI to work in your style, is
It
it
wouldn't be hard to do that for Joe Woes' style, to be honest.
okay? Admittedly, yes, you could train a Roomba to do Joe Woes' style.
Come on, mate.
That's unfair. I shouldn't have said that. We love Joe.
Let's start to do. I'm just being cheeky. Me too. Me too.
And but okay, that was funny. But it's an interesting question. You know, if you're an artist and you are finding it more difficult to work. Is it ethical to train an AI to draw your comics? And I didn't really know how to answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to train an AI to like make a movie out of people winning it. I mean, no, the ethics is it's not whether you use the tool, it's whether the tool is paying the creators what they're due, which currently they're not, being the problem. You know, there is currently a situation of wholesale copyright theft.
I have yet to use one of these AIs. I know you have.
I played around with it. I mean, the titles on the show is done with AI.
No, really?
Well, part of it, the first part is, but then the AI gets busted out. The aliens are teaching the monkeys their technology, and the monkeys are
Charles,
using
do you
it to
use
expand their
AI
consciousness.
in
So the monkey's
school?
like drilling a hole in the rock, and then it becomes real. Okay, this is probably like I knew this was going to happen. This has smudged the face up too much. All right.
Were you asking me a question?
Yeah, do you use AIs to write when you're in school?
No.
Okay,
That they have. There's a decent amount of ways they can know, and then you just get a 0. It's not really worth it.
okay. Because I read an article recently, they said in med schools there was a problem now with med students using AIs to write their papers.
They might as well because AI is going to be doing their whole job for them. Like, why would you trust a doctor when an AI is going to be like a lot more right? You just need the doctor to make sure the AI hasn't gone crazy for a minute.
Well, how will they know?
Well, the trouble is they'll get sued if they don't.
Yes, by AI lawyers.
Yeah, by AI lawyers. Yeah.
Would they be selling? Oh my God. Will Daredevil get replaced by an AI?
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, seriously though. I mean, like all law is looking up stuff in books and looking at precedent.
Oh my God, I just realized that whole Age of Ultron movie, that's just a movie about an AI replacing superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this was always in Judge Dredd. In Judge Dredd, even at the beginning, like the robots had caused like there was like 3% employment in Mega City One because the robots did all the job.
Yeah.
But then there's a robot wars. The robots were led by Call Me Kenneth, who was a big giant construction robot, and he led them in a robot uprising, which Judge Dredd defeated. But you know, robots did get some rights out of that.
Okay. Wait, in Judge Dredd, robots have rights?
Well, after the robot wars, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't been keeping up with Judge Dredd.
This was like right in the beginning of Judge Dredd. But it's always 120 years in the future. Well, the thing I found a bit weird was I was watching this regular cop movie on Netflix. I was like, oh, this is like a Judge Dredd movie. They were like using lasers and all this, and they had these big trucks that were coming in and all that. And it's like this was just regular police now, and I'm like, oh no, that's about right. We're about halfway. You know, Judge Dredd's always 120 years in the future. So yeah, we're right. We're right on the timeline. Everything's coming true. But the good news is that President Bad Bob Booth isn't due to get elected till like 2070. So he's the one that's really he's going to create the judges and could cause the nuclear war that destroys America once and for all.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that used to be just satire.
And it's always been very true. It's always been coming true ever since it was created.
Yeah, I don't even want to go down the list of Judge Dredd things that have happened.
They were talking about advertising on the moon. I saw the other day they were literally saying, "Oh, we think we can project ads up on the moon." I was like,
"Oh, that'll be great."
But there's some good things. They'll have weather control. The judges will have full control of the weather.
Yeah,
we'll have basically quite nice weather. We'll still be at war with the Russians. Otherwise, not much will change. People won't have. People will be so bored they won't have anything to do. That's the thing. That's the funniest part about Judge Dredd is the citizens. These sort of bored, desperate citizens who've just got nothing to do. So they invent things like Boing.
I remember Boing.
Boing was a good one.
That's a bioplastic that allows people to survive in it and they can just bounce all over.
Yes. It encases you inside of a rubber ball, basically.
Now, wasn't when Judge Anderson was infected with Judge Death that they kept her in Boing, which they cut into a...
That's right, yes. When Judge Anderson first encountered Judge Death, so this is the first time we met Judge Anderson or Judge Death.
Yeah.
And she was able, using her psychic power, she was able to draw him into her. But then once he was in there, they didn't know what to do, so they encased her in Boing. And she sort of stayed there in the museum for a number of years. She was in the Hall of Justice as an exhibit.
We all respect
until then, of course, the other dark judges, the other dark judges came along and set him free, and her. Fortunately,
this show
so then we can have more
sacrifice of Judge Anderson.
Yeah, very well played by Olivia Thirlby, I think, or Thirlby.
Are you talking about in the last movie?
Yeah, in the Carl Urban movie that was written by Alex Garland.
That wasn't a bad. I don't like the fact that it was a serious movie because Judge Dredd is a parody.
I'd say it had everything you wanted from a Judge Dredd movie, I think.
No, it didn't.
Oh, let's see. Now, people are making comments here that nobody's been alerting me to.
Oh, well.
I've been alerting.
I also call my customers wise, especially if they aren't. The sound of our low mumblings or the background of static, I know it well. Yeah, that's us.
I'm Mr. Wacky Stuff. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for...
Thanks for coming back. He was here before. On a different day.
I wonder if it's one of our friends.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. There's Electra. She's done, I guess. She came out quite good. I think we should try some of that smudginess.
I'm working on mine.
Which was smudging more? The Higgins ink. I can't tell if the Higgins ink was smudging. Maybe just because it wasn't dry enough. All right. There we go. Quite happy with that.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, yeah, Dale, what have you done there?
Okay. You going to share my screen then?
Yeah, I can share your screen.
Okay.
Torturing a Greenlee.
Well, Dale, I wish you'd stop mocking our former co-hosts like that.
I am not. That has nothing to do with our former co-host. Doesn't even look like her. Don't be mean. Don't put words in my mouth.
All right.
All right.
You're calling them Greenlees. All right. Well, anyway,
I'll give them a different name.
Okay.
What's a good name?
Call them a greenie. That's a different
greenie.
thing.
I'll call them greenies.
All right, so that's good. Now you're developing a character with legal deniability.
I'm developing a character. An annoying.
Because that guy who did Baby Reindeer, he's in big trouble now.
Why?
Because he says at the beginning, this is a true story, and then he proceeds to paint horrible pictures of everybody. That it's actually quite easy to figure out who they are and actually it's not 100% true story. No, because he's like, he's saying that it's an emotionally true story, which it is. But I mean, the thing is, like, Netflix did this. Like, the old school media, they knew to have very strong compliance departments to make sure stuff like this didn't happen. But I think also because he'd already done it as like a stage play, like at Edinburgh Festival and stuff, so it sort of evolved. So maybe that also they thought it was okay. But I mean, even if they just said based on a true story, you got deniability. But he goes, "This is a true story," and that's like a real problem.
Do me a favor, Charles. Show my screen again. Okay. All right. So I'm going to zoom in. Now I'm in layers. I'm going to add a correction layer, hue, saturation, luminosity, and I'm just going to change there. I've changed the color of the character. It is now a bluey. Okay.
Bluey.
So we're all happy with blueies?
Yeah. I'm happy with bluey.
Okay.
Although that is already a character.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, there's Blue's Clues.
Okay.
There's also Bluey is literally the name of a character.
Help me pick a color.
It could still be a Bluey or a Pinky or a Reddy.
Red Fred.
Okay.
I like Greenie. Greenies or Pinkies is good.
All right, we're going to have to pick this up next week because it's now the end of the show.
All right, I'm going back to
a turkey.
This color. It's between green and blue. It's the shark's color.
I don't know. It's me that's a turkey. The turquoise.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Here's the theme.
They're turkeys. All right.
Bye.
Here's a theme song for Chuck Whelan Showy. He asked me to write one, but I stole from David Bowie. Here's a theme song. Chuck Whelan is the best. We have lots of hosts, but we're running out of gas. Will you be our guest on? Will you be our guest on? Beyond the Chuck Whelan